All right, so we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I guess this my chair is going to be making a whole lot of noise. All right, give me a few seconds while we wait for people to join us. Let me quickly share this live also, and then we can get right into the hot gist. Okay, give me a second. Let me share to my community. And then we start the conversation. You are welcome. If you're just joining us from the title and thumbnail, you already know what we're about to discuss. Join in and give us your own 2 cents. Man, the weather is so cold. So hence I'm dressed like this. I don't know, maybe I should take off the jacket for a bit. When it's getting more cold, I'll just throw on the jacket. Well, let me just have it close by. Okay, so I think our sound is good. Let me increase the volume a little bit. Close by. Okay, good. Sound is great. So let me share this to our community and we'll get like so much again, so much wahala is going on. Okay, let's say join us. Just give me a second and we would dive right into all the juicy gist. You know, with live stream, you can never be too prepared. So am I too close to the screen? Am I? Anyways, um, give me a second, give me a second, give me a second. Let me do this. Okay. All right, so we would have done this video long time ago. We would have sat down to discuss this fight as it started. Immediately, this whole thing started when it was still hot and whatnot. Sorry, guys, I'm distracted by a car that is pulling in here that doesn't look like it's supposed to be here. I'll just keep my eyes out. Anyways, so Sandra reality versus reactors, dyna Ekwueme versus her Zimbabwean parents, and just so much is going on social media. So those are all the stuffs we are going to be discussing today. But before we get right into all of that, I'm just trying to share. Hence, I've not even started talking because I don't want to be distracted. Once I start, we're just going to be giving it straight up. But you know, there's something I always say in every topic, in every video, in every content, in every reaction. There is always something you can learn from. There is a lesson. You know, and you can actually go home with something depending on how you view content, depending on how you watch content, depending on how you consume content. And for me, I feel like if it is something that we can actually teach with, then we sure are going to be discussing it. So we would have done this since, but our plate was actually full, so we were not able to. Let me just do the live share to my community, uh, join in the conversation. Okay, okay. So I want to share, make sure I share to my communities, and then we're set. Okay. All right. So let's close the phone and put it away while we get into the gist. All right, so welcome, Entertainment Daily lovers. Welcome. Thank you so very much for being patient. Whoa, 4 minutes. We're here trying to share and whatnot. Anyways, thank you so very much. This is going to be a quick one. Like I said, we would have done this content a few days back, but until you can find the time to sit down, that's it. But anyways, thank you very much for joining us here. And if you are meeting us for the first time, because some people, because of certain videos or certain YouTubers that reactors are talking about. That's what brings you to the channel. So if you're coming in here because you're a fan of Sandra Reality, Choice TV, the other reactors, Dyna Ekwueme, and all the people we're going to be mentioning on this video, you are welcome. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy content like this. That being said, let's dive right into the main gist. Okay, so Sandra Reality versus the youth versus the reactors, Nigerian reactors, because in her video she was specific, okay, about Nigerian reactors. Those are the ones that she said she was talking to. That being said, we will discuss that. Let's start from Dyna Ekweme's gist, because I feel like that's one that we could just quickly touch down on and then get right back. And then get right back. I'm trying to make sure. Yes. So yeah, two topics. But Sandra's topic is way broader, so we will start with Dyna Ekwueme. All right, so Dyna Ekwueme for a while now has not been talked about so much on YouTube. You know, on the streets of YouTube, you don't hear so much about Dyna Ekwueme. But recently, she did delete her Instagram that got reactors, you know, reacting a little bit like hope everything is okay and whatnot. Then somehow we stumbled across contents of Dyna where Dyna don't go messian, if I should put it that way. Like Dyna don't go talk past his mouth. You know, when you're just talking, you're maybe overly excited or you're not really thinking through before saying what you're saying. I think that's exactly what happened to Dyna in this case, where she was talking, giving an instance, and then she decided to use Zimbabwe as an example, talking about a community, a town she went to with her family. Now, y'all know she lives in Saudi Arabia, so she's been going places and filming and showing. I guess she went to this particular town or village, and this village or town wasn't given. And Dyna, being Dyna, will always share about it. She will want to talk about it. She will give her own 2 cents about what she feels about that place, and that's exactly what she did. Dyna talking about this place, talking about how she just wasn't feeling that place. That place was just not giving, and she decided she was just going to give her viewers, her subscribers, her fans, fans, whatnot, an example. And the best example that came to mind at that point was Zimbabwe. And Dyna used Zimbabwe, said the place was given Zimbabwe. And I think after she said it, she now realized what she had done, and she actually said in that video that no offense to my Zimbabwe fans or watchers, Zimbabwe watchers, I think that's what she's like. So Dyna Ekwueme knew fully well that people watches her from different African countries, also maybe from Europe, US, and other continents. Let me put it that way. Also, not only Africans watch her, or not only Nigerians. She's a Nigerian content creator, but other creators also watch her. But I think the excitement of let me put out this content, Dyna didn't really think so much, didn't think through what she was about to say, and she just said it. And after saying it, that was when she realized, ooh, I shouldn't have said this. But guys, it was just too late, because then there's no way her Zimbabwe fans are not going to watch. There is no way one or two Zimbabwean it's not going to see that content. And of course they did, and they did not hold back. They gave it to her right, left, center. They dragged Dyna from her wig, from her pants, from her trouser, from her vest. In fact, they did not only drag Dyna, actually. Some of them were even coming for her own country. You know how it is. Like, do you think that Nigeria is anything better than Zimbabwe? Do you think, because they felt like, why didn't she use Nigeria? Why must she use Zimbabwe? Why must it be our country? But then I think Dyna realized what she did, and she went ahead and she did apologize about the whole situation. And let's hope that her Zimbabwe fans will keep watching and forgive her and understand that maybe it was just an honest mistake. I don't know. I'm not Dyna. Maybe it was deliberate, but I would love to see it as an honest mistake, that she really didn't mean it that way. But I think it sounded the way it sounded because she was not someone. Because I feel like if she used her own country for an example, for let's just say if she had used Nigeria for example, of course there are Nigerians that would be upset, but she would be able to defend herself, saying that she's also from that country. So I think the Zimbabwe people her Zimbabwe fans were really upset, in the sense that, look, babe, what are you talking about? Have you been to Zimbabwe before? Or is that how you look at us? Is that how you see us? Even though you know that you have fans or you have watchers from Zimbabwe, you still have to use Zimbabwe to give an example of a place in the desert that is not given. Saudi Arabia people, I hello. I know Fisher, but I'm just saying, like I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the Zimbabwe people. Okay, that saw that content. But anyway, Dinah did apologize. And if you're watching this, leave us a comment and let us know what you think about the example that Dinah gave using Zimbabwe and the dragging. Do you think she deserved it? Or you think people should have just come a little bit lighter, correcting her, letting her know that it is not okay when you're trying to give an example of something, just don't use a place or even a person to kind of describe something that you're really not pleased with. Okay, there are so many other ways you could do it. There's so many other ways you could explain how displeased you were, or how disappointed, how dissatisfied you were when you got to that place. It was below expectation, but not using a country, a person, a place, or something to describe how the place looked. So that's that about um Dinah Ekwueme. Let's quickly jump right over into Sandra Reality and Choice TV. So like in the title you see I wrote Sandra Reality versus Choice TV and the reactors, because I think majority of the words or message that Sandra Reality had in that her response video was for Choice TV, even though she did not say Choice TV by name. Okay, but everyone knew who she was talking to, and she also addressed all the Nigerian reactors also, because she said Nigerian reactors. So she, even though she didn't go by naming names, she did. So before we get to that point, let's backtrack a little bit. I did one video talking a little bit about this whole situation, and I think on that video I had said if I have the time I would sit on a live stream, and this is something we have to discuss. And even before this, let me quickly point out something. Even before this, I think something had happened. I don't know if it was, I'm trying to remember, was it the case of who editorial, I'm thinking, and some other people, some other content creators, that there's this certain word that I always hear from people, that when people react to them, you will always hear this type of words. And I was like, oh, I think this is a good one for us to sit down and make it a topic and discuss and kind of educate people concerning this way of thinking. Then we were still looking for the time to do that, and then Sandra Reality Begin started. So this is just a good time for me to just address all of this whole thing together and address all the content creators. If you are a content creator, then I believe this is also for you. If you're someone that thinks that way, when I start explaining, you will understand. Okay, so Sandra Reality came out, did a video that would have been a nice prank video. If you ask me, it would have. And I will point out why I said it would have been. Okay, if she had really planned it very well, thought through everything before filming it, it would have been a wonderful, awesome one that everyone would just watch, laugh, giggle about it, like, whoa, kudos. But it was not really a well thought through stuff. I think Sandra Reality was just in a hurry or in a bit of desperation, or for some reason, because lately YouTube have not been giving. YouTube have just been messing up big time. People's views are a hot mess. Like other platforms are picking up and doing well, and YouTube lives in their own planet that a whole lot of people are complaining about their views. They don't send out notification and all of that. So a lot of content creators are desperate in that sense, because everybody wants people to flock in and watch their content and consume their content. So of course, people are changing niches. People are also trying to introduce more stuffs into what they do. You hear people telling you, okay, I used to do this, I'm going to add ABC to what you've heard a whole lot of content creators say that, right? So you can tell that the view is no longer coming the way it is. So I think that also contributed to Sandra Reality not thinking through, because this is not the first prank that Sandra Reality is doing. This is not the first, but this was just horrible. This one went south from the beginning. So Sandra Reality came out and did this prank where she said she wanted to prank her husband with their child. And she wanted to act like she was going to give this child alcohol, and just to see her husband's reaction. Now, let's start from there. we're going to be breaking down Sandra's video before we're going to get to the top fight and this throwing of shade up and down and the whole nonsense that is going on right now. I want us to take this a step at a time so everybody can understand, and anybody that come across this live stream or this video will understand the point that I'm trying to make and why I say we can actually teach and educate ourselves concerning certain topics. And every video, there's always something to learn from or something to unlearn if you feel like if you've been thinking you've learned something good for a while. So anyways, from the beginning, alcohol. If you're a content creator, you know what alcohol, how YouTube sees anything that has to do with things like that also. That's one. Two, you know how YouTube sees content that you involve kids. And I remember watching so many Nigerian content creators or African content creators that bases in Nigeria and in Africa. And there is one thing I saw that so many of them do in common. A person will be live streaming just the way I'm doing right now. You have the kids around. Of course, it is very difficult to try to schedule a time where the kids will not be noisy, where they're in their own rooms. I'm on a hot mess. Like it's very difficult. It's unrealistic. So sometimes you will have the kids, you hear their voices in the background. But something that is common with a whole lot of our content creators is the fact that you won't shout. In fact, this part I don't even want to say it in English, but in correct English. But please, if you're watching my content and you don't understand, let me know exactly where I said something. If I said something in pidgin you don't understand, I really want to understand. Tell me. I would drop it as a comment, explain to you what I said there. When you want shout for pikin, you dey shout for pikin directly as you dey film, you dey record. When you dey edit that video, you know the things they make you cut out that part. So many people's channels have been deleted on YouTube. I'm talking about people with good, I know they talk about 40, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. I'm talking about people with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, views, making good money. But because of the way you treated children in the name of maybe just a joke, just a prank, this is that. Look, So a lot of people will scream, scold, say certain type of things, having certain conversation when the kids are right there. They can hear you, they can see you. People will not say, kids, excuse, wait for when the kids are not there. They are filming. They will not edit this part out. And I always say this, like, this is not okay. I remember on some people's videos, the ones that I feel like it's just too much, I will just drop a comment. And I always love dropping. Hello, sis. Hello. I've been here watching. Thank you so much. Thank you. I saw you were busy at work on this thing on WhatsApp, so I didn't even think that you'd be here. Thank you so very much. So on content like that, I would see, and I would just drop a comment in maybe either pidgin and say, I beg, play careful, all these type of things, like trying to get the content creators' attention to be careful. You're not going to shout for picking. They tell you, I go carry slippers, I go pitch, I go do this one, I go do that one. They cause picking out. All those things that things that they go take drop your channel. Okay, so I feel like most times our people, they really think so much in the sense that the videos you're making are not just for your consumption. The videos you're making are not just for the consumption of people that have the same culture, people that have the same tradition, people that have the same beliefs as you. The content you're putting out there on social media, not only on YouTube, any of the social media platforms, social media in general, is for, and I think a lot of people don't see it that way. People just come off doing anyhow, thinking like, I beg, after all, only our people could consume them. That's not true. That's not true. If you're coming out, come out straight. If you're coming out, come out right. If you're doing things, do things right. Always remember that, first of all, the YouTube, now you get them. Now African person create them. Think of all those things first. All of the social media, the Facebook, the TikTok, the name it. If not from your village, it come from, that you'll be thinking that these people are people of your tribe, your culture, the same tradition with you, so they will understand the whole messiness and all of that. So I feel like right from the beginning, right from the very start, Sandra missed me and a lot of people on that one. Like anybody that wants to be frank would say it. Like there's so many other pranks that she could have done, but that child was very little. And all this social media, like recently, I don't know how many people, content creators don't really do so much trying to say. Recently, if y'all are active online, then you would have seen when in the US, the congressmen and congresswomen, right? That's what they call them, when they had this meeting with almost all the social media people. Mark Zuckerberg was there, Google was there, Twitter was there. Now that is X. What's the name? TikTok was there. All of them were sitting, answering questions. They were questioning them for hours. They were drilling them, like serious drilling, where they were even forcing Mark Zuckerberg to even apologize to people that their kids by themselves, like on leave themselves, blaming it that it's somehow Facebook's fault. But I kind of digress, but I'm just trying to explain something, that when you're making content, understand that is for the world. It is not only for Africa. It is not only for Africans. Even if you feel like your content is tailored toward those people. Gores. Yeah, when I saw the coach in your name, I was like, oh, it used to be Gores Corner. You're welcome, Gores. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you. So when you try to, when you're making content, always understand that even if you feel like, oh, my content is tailored towards just my people, just towards certain people, just towards certain group of people. So I don't know them, but I will be listening. Are you serious? You don't know these reactors? And the Sandra reality and dyna Ekwueme. Dyna Ekwueme and Sandra reality, they've been on the street for a long time. They've been in so many dramas. So, Gores, I'm really surprised that you don't even know them. Yoyos was said, going in for a meeting right now. Once I'm done, I will join you briefly. Thank you so very much, sis. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. So, when you feel like, okay, this is what I want to do, but at the same time that you're feeling like this particular content, you're creating it for just people from your continent, just people from your country, just people from your tribe, your inner circles or whatever. Those are the people you want to create that content for. Also realize that there are people that are not from your tribe, not from your country, not from your continent, that will stumble across your content and might decide to just, out of curiosity, just to see what you have to offer. And if they really like what you have to offer, they will subscribe to your channel, turn on notification. They want to see more of that type of content that you created, that they stumbled across, that they love. And understand how people are going to see certain things you're doing. So when you're dealing, my point is, I'm trying, and I said, I'm going to try as much as I can to break this down to a layman understanding. Because sometimes when we sit here and try to explain this, and people start coming for you. Not that I care. Not that I care. Like, if you talk anyone will not enter my body, well, I will cost you out. That one is steady. So, but some people just start looking at it like, oh, because they are fans of these people, you're trying to come for somebody that they are farming, and then they just like, oh my goodness, don't talk about this person, you hate her, you hate everybody. Everybody can be a hater. Some persons are just genuinely trying to point out something to you. Some persons are just genuinely trying to bring your attention to something. Okay, Gora said exactly. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. I'm glad that you understand and you see the point that I'm trying to make. So when Sandra did that stuff already, thinking that she was going to prank her husband with alcohol and a child that is that small, that in fact, from the beginning, you just know that this is going to be a hot mess. This is going to be a failure, because you don't do that. Even as adults, if you're the type that you drink on your show, or you also say, so sorry, meeting in 30 minutes. It's okay, sis. I know how, even me, it took me how many days to sit here to to do this video. Don't worry, don't worry. If you miss our live stream today, don't worry. I totally understand. It's not easy. There's just so much to do. Our lives doesn't only revolve around YouTube. We have other things to do. So I totally understand. I'm glad you were able to come in. I'm so grateful that you came in to support me, even though you're still at work. So I totally understand. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much. Okay, Gora's gonna say, oh, I heard it. Oh, on Ifechi's family page on Sunday. Oh, you did. Okay. That's good. That means I have to check out Mommy's Fechi for now that you mentioned. I've not been active on YouTube so much. I've been watching people. So I feel like if people can have this understanding that when you're putting out content, try to understand those things that you will put out and somebody will see and they'll say, why did YouTube even allow this thing? It's now messing up with their mental health and this. The next thing, YouTube is being sued for content because people are being all messy and all that. So that's like, even with alcohol, if you're putting alcohol, you're drinking, you're showing, they will even tell you things like alcohol, guns, and all of that. If you read through YouTube, their instructions, it's all listed there. You have to be very careful the way you're showing off alcohol, the way you're showing guns and things like that. So trying to prank and children too, they will tell you if you're posting content about children, you see how they will put there. Most times they would just automatically close the comment section when you're posting something about children. But when you post about yourself as an adult, as whatnot, your comment section is open. But if YouTube notice that kids are being displayed here and there, they close it. Like in this country where I am, they actually advise people to not even be showing their kids like that. That's the advice you get from the police, from everybody. That's what the government advises people. Although not that they will do anything to you if you show, but that's the first thing they're advising people. Be careful, protect your kids. If you don't have to put them online, don't put them. Don't. So when I see people freely overdoing this thing, you've decided you want to put your kids online, okay, then at least be responsible with the type of content and the type of things that you're putting out there. Oyoyo was saying, they know what YouTube says, but Nigeria has no limitation or more, and the matter tire me really, because from the beginning of this prank, it wasn't making sense that you would mix alcohol and a baby that is that little, and you think that the prank will be successful, and nobody will see anything wrong, nobody will say a thing. It was just beyond me, And then secondly, you also structure this your prank in a way that you will be receiving a hot slap. Now that slap was planned, it was rehearsed, if you ask me, because the body language of the husband, nobody in a real argument, that even if you've not been in one, you've seen people in real argument, you've seen heated fights, nothing they go like that. Like there is always, how this whole thing, so you will know that this whole thing is planned. Okay, how he walked into the room the first time, pulled up his shirt up a little bit, trying to act like he doesn't know that there's a camera in that corner, but all throughout he avoided to look at that particular corner in the room. Of course, it was obvious, because who walks into their room or their house and you just avoid looking at one corner in your house? It was obvious that this whole thing was planned. Gora said, Nigeria don't have regulations or don't follow it. They get regulations, but they just don't obey them. They don't follow them. They choose to ignore them. That's the thing. That's just what it is. They choose to ignore them, and because nobody's following up with stuff like that, it is what it is. Unlike some other parts where they've got their eyes on you, you just do anyhow, you go see anyhow. You understand? They will just get you to pay for that behavior that you are displaying. So I think that's what it is. So I feel like Sandra should have known that this was wrong. Then moving on to where she now structured this prank to the level where physical abuse will now be introduced. I don't think it should have gotten to that level, and the prank would have still been fun if it was something else, arguing, fighting, disagreement. I mean fight, I'm talking about physical fight. Okay, like verbally trying to, like they're disagreeing, he's angry. Like there's a way she would have structured this thing, leaving the little boy out of this, leaving the little baby. Or there is even a way that Sandra would have been able to structure this prank about the little baby without showing the baby at all in this prank video. Let me give you an example. If you say, our pikin fall, he head comes well, or something like that. You're saying it, but you're not showing the child, but his reaction, he can still react, upset, wanting, you were careless, you were this, that will bring argument. Since you want to do that type of prank, I'm just giving an example. Nobody will see the child on the video, but the prank will still be able to go on. There are so many other things you would have been able to prank him on if it's the child you want to use, of which I don't support. Okay, I think they should prank each other with themselves and not the kids. Just my own opinion. So I don't know why Sandra thought that it was okay to do that, and taking it up to a level where she will now receive a hot slap, physical abuse, and thinking that that is okay. We're talking about a place where a lot of women, a lot of people are crying out how women are being treated, you know, and we're trying to fight to see that, okay, men are treating their wives the right way, not every little thing because you're stronger than your wife, you start panel beating, panel beating her and all of that. So for Sandra to think that it is okay, and now that was the first prank she did. We talked about it. All the people, I said we because many people reacted. The reactors reacted, Nigerian reactors reacted on the video, and then she now came out and did this other part of the video that we're going to get into now. And a lot of people were talking about that physical abuse part. It was not necessary. It is not good. What are you trying to portray? Even if you're not trying to say people should be people, there are people that are looking up to you, and when you come out and you start acting like these type of behaviors are okay, it is okay for a man to not know how to use his mouth to resolve conflict, but instead use his muscles. That's not a good message to pass out there. Don't make it feel like it's okay, because people are busy telling people that are in abusive relationship to come out. Some people are ending up buying on Oyoyo's live stream that she did, I think the weekend, in the weekend, right? I Saturday or Sunday, she did live stream, or Friday, the weekend, I think she did. She mentioned about how many people that buy this one, buy this one, the other one, buy the other one, the other buy that one, the other one, buy boyfriend, buying girlfriend. Imagine somebody that you didn't even marry, somebody's child, you're just dating the person already, you've unlived the person, and the mother is crying on social media, no justice, the boy is still roaming freely after buying her daughter. So there's just so many cases that we can point to, or that is this type of not knowing how to resolve conflict properly, but using physical means, using physical strength, muscles, and blah blah blah, and on leaving people. So you coming out to prank and make it look like it was okay was not okay. It was not okay. That's why I said right from the beginning, Sandra did not think through before doing that video. And I think she did it out of desperation, because she needed views, because she needed the attention. She needed people to talk about her, just as we're doing right now. She needed people to get people's attention on her, because it is beneficial, okay, whether good or bad, doesn't matter whether they are dragging you, insulting you. When people talk about you, it brings traffic to your channel, and that's what every content creator wants. Every content creator wants traffic on their channel. Every content creator wants to post the content and have millions of people flocking in their channels to view that content. That's what everybody wants, okay? Whether you're monetized, whether you're not monetized, you need that as a content creator. I think that pushed Sandra to not think through this particular prank, and she just missed on all levels. Said he knew there was a camera. Exactly. His body language, like there's just so many ways that you could tell that it was a well-planned thing, like they planned it, and he knew that camera was right there, and he just played along, knowing that these are the type of content that his wife creates. So for sure, Sandra's husband knew, and that's why even from at the talk, you they talk, at the talk, you they talk. Sandra doesn't look like someone that keeps quiet at any point in time. So at the talk, you they talk, at the talk, you they talk. You know, jive. You get. So there is just so many things that we can point out that shows that they knew what they were doing. They planned it together, but they just didn't think about the whole thing, how it will look. When they put it out there. We also said the husband tried so hard to avoid the camera. Exactly. You're right. You're right. That's why even in the argument was not flowing the way a normal argument of someone that is really upset at you, someone that is really mad at you for something stupid that you did. Like he was kind of lost for words, if I put it that way. Like he said just few words, and the next thing was bosa, which on a normal day he would have had more things to say. that would have given her the hint that Boza was coming, So it was obvious that they planned it. You're absolutely right. From him not trying to look towards that particular corner. And there's something people that do prank also, like I said, this is going to be a teaching and a learning process. There's something that you need to know when you are into this entertainment stuff and things like that. For example, I will use, okay, for people that act movies, let me say that for actors, they teach them the way that you see that sometimes they look to the camera, but it doesn't look like they're looking to the camera. It looks like they're looking at you that is watching the movie, right? Or sometimes there's a way they glance and you glance over, but their eye gets to the camera, but they don't make you look like, like, oh, na camera there. Do you understand? Like there's a way they can just glance over and just continue the conversation in movies. Then if you're someone that if you did some like modeling and all of that, when we used to hit the runway, if you're a fashion model where you have to hit the runway during catwalk, you know that the cameras are right in front. Majority of the cameras are set in front with the bright light, with the everything, with the crowd. Somehow people say, how do people even handle those number of people watching? And then they misstep. So all of those things you've rehearsed, you've planned, you've prepared yourself. How, they tell you where to know how to set to get the best shots of the outfit, whatever they're advertising, okay? So all of these things are things that you also as a prank star need to know. If you're doing a sit-down video, you also need to know that you cannot place your camera, for example, down where they can see the hairs in your nose. These are just simple things that you need to know. You need to know how to position your camera very well in order to put yourself in the frame. You cannot be too much to the side when you're doing a sit-down video, and there are so many things in your background that are going to be distracting people when you're trying to either teach or pass a message. There's just so much in content. We can talk about this in a different topic, actually. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you choose to do prank or whatever content you choose to do on YouTube, or on social media, let me not say YouTube because it could be Facebook, could be anywhere. Try to understand what it takes. Try to understand the do's and don'ts of that content. Then Sandra now came back after she saw all the reactions of people, comments, even her fans, the ones that disagree with her, that felt like she took it too far. People were arguing if the toza, if the slap was real or it wasn't real, whatnot, and all of that. Then Sandra came back and did another video where she, in her video, said a whole lot of stuff where she was addressing Choice TV, their fight, calling her names. All of those is not even what I want. But the point I want to make is the fact that Sandra got to a point where she said that she doesn't understand why people, I guess the reactors and the commenters that disagree with her, are worried and complaining about the slap that she received. That was it not her own husband that slapped her? Was it not the husband that married her? Now, I'm being all this dramatic because that's how Sandra was in her video. Now, was it not the husband that used his own hard-earned money to marry her? Is it not his wife that he married that he slapped? So what I took from that Sandra's video is the fact that because a man came to your parents, came to your family to pay bride price and carry out the traditional rites, and then taking your hand or asking for your hand in marriage, it makes it okay if that man beats you up until he unleaves you. It is his right because you are his property. You're like a thing, like this cell phone now that you will walk into the shop and you purchase a cell phone, right? So you're now his property, or like the couch you have in your sitting room. That is what you are. So if he goes to work and his colleague or his boss gets him angry, he can come back and give you a hot doza as he gets into the house because you are his wife and he married you with his hard-earned money. So it's okay for you to be his punching bag. This brings me to what I said, the mentality of some people. And at some point, you will want to think that because you're associating, you are traveling, you are meeting people, you are engaging. I don't know. Really, at this point, I don't know. I don't know what type of friends people keep. You get? I don't know. Because I feel like when you're having friends, you should kind of, have reasonable friends. The people you mingle with, people you associate with, should be people with sense. If you're, for example, when you're in school, you were a science student, don't have only science students as friends. Also have art students, social science, everything. So you can learn one or two things. If I want to talk about something that say, oh, this has to do with legal, I will contact my friends that are lawyers and I will ask them, oh, what does this say? So that I know what I'm doing. So I'm also a little bit educated when it comes to that. So if they are talking about something about law and order and whatnot, I will not just sit down like stupid because I don't know anything about that because I didn't study law. Educate yourself, people no go agree. When Sandra said that stuff, I was shocked. Because I was thinking, Sandra, you've been on the platform for a bit. I would expect you, according to you, you were a millionaire before selling what I don't know, talking about something internet business. Would you guys, if you remember, I don't know what's that thing she said she was doing. She was selling something anyway. That if you do well, sometimes they get to travel and all that. I would expect that because traveling also sometimes people not go agree traveling they not go agree. All these are things that will help you as a person. Watch TV. Not only they watch local 9 o'clock news, not be only ton 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 ton. Watch other things also. It will help you. Read. Enter some of these blogs. Not be only to sit down with your friend, the gossip waiting the other friend do, or waiting the other friend no do. Read, try to know what is going on in the world. Keep yourself updated. It's going to help you or someone next to you. So when Sandra said that thing, that if she receives that, was it not a man that married her? Was it not from her husband? Who said it's okay for anybody's husband to be giving them hot slap, laying hands on them? And who said it's okay for anybody's wife to raise their hand and hit their husband? Who said who? Like, I'm trying to understand who said that is the best way to resolve issues. So I think people that are close to Sandra and people that have fans, those people that she listens to, should really educate Sandra on how silly that sounded. Like, I'm trying to pick my words carefully so she would understand where I'm coming from, because this is not to drag. This is to educate and bring awareness, because the way that a lot of content creators are behaving, it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. And our people, they do and pass. A lot of times people will just open their mouth. Wow, shit, that's how we used to say it in Africa. You open your mouth, wow, and you just yam nonsense. And most times people don't even realize that what they've just said is absolute nonsense. Another person that did one recently was Lily Pope. Right? Another person that did something like that was Lily Pope also. That said something that was, but anyway, we're not discussing Lily Pope today. I can actually pick out our content creators and certain things that they say that is really embarrassing and shocking, that you would think that they should know better, but they don't. And they still will say these things with their full chest, like you are the one that is silly, like you're the one that is delusional. And that brings me to the next thing I want to discuss. This goes to every content creator or every person. You might not even be a content creator, but you might just be someone out there. If you are a person that you feel that when you've been talked about or something happened to you, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, I dey feed person, I dey feed you, I dey feed una. It goes to show your level of understanding. It goes to show your level of exposure. It goes to show how low you are mentally. I'm just trying to pick words carefully so people don't get offended and listen and learn. Really, what I wish, and make I will say this in pidgin, because this no concern people know the hear pidgin. If you're not African, I know they talk to you. Waiting I wish for our people as African, waiting I wish for our people as Black people, now to come out here on social media and deliver. Come out on social media and deliver. Make people they look, say, man, these people then too much. These people then two they put together. These people, their own, in fact, you not going to know what you want to talk. But when people go come out, they make caricature of yourself. They show people how low you they think. A lot of people do this. Every time, I'll give example. Every time someone is talked about, let me tell you something. If someone talks about you and you feel the person is being insulted, the person is being rude, the person is being whatnot, and you decide you want to respond by posting something, there is a way you're going to respond that everybody that comes across that your response is going to pull cap for you. They are going to salute you. But these habits that people will see and say, they feed people. And now something people like to talk like, say, now something. At the end of the day, whether you feed person, whether person feed you, remember that one day, you will feed person and person will then feed. Una go buy. And when una buy, you will feed person. They no go hang you for air, for space. Do you get? You will not be, they will not say, oh, because you were so wealthy, you are the richest person, you are this one, you are that one. You will not be buried, you will be floating in the sky. And then the person you fed will now be buried 6 feet below for the maggots and whatever to eat them down there. You, the feeder and the feeding, will be buried, will be lowered into Mother Earth, 6 feet, and you will not be buried with all of your wealth. You will not be buried with that latest iPhone you just bought that people will use to brag. You will not be buried with that latest Hummer Jeep you just bought, Range Rover Sport, Porsche, whatever. You will not be buried with it. You will not be buried with that mansion that you built. You will not be buried with your fleets of cars, your private jets, name it. You will be put in a small wooden box. Then do too much, then go add glass. Then do too much, then go shape out like aeroplane, helicopter, house, now still box. It is what it is. The only difference is your own figure paint. The person where you feed, when no get money, it own fit just be normal brown as the color of the wood is. But you go still decay. Maggot go still chop your body. And when you remain skeleton, if they carry your skull, carry the poor person's skull, they no go fit identify am without a DNA test. Say this na the rich man, this na the poor man, because it will be only bones that will be left. Let me read this comment before I proceed. Oyo said, the world is in distress. No empathy, no love, no humanity. It's completely lost. Absolutely, you are right. You are right, sis, 110%. The level at which people are so quick to say, oh, I they feed you. People see it as an insult, as a shade. You know who I am. I pass my neighbor. I'm better than you. I'm this. And my point is, all of these things are not necessary. And if you are someone that is smart, someone that is educated, someone that is exposed, someone that has wisdom, someone that has knowledge and good understanding, someone that fears God, and the worst part of it, this same set of people, now them pray pass, now them call God pass. That's why I always tell people, a lot of the prayers now they pray, now they waste on our energy. You know, they pass the roof of your building with the mentality you have. The fact that you feel like because you think that you're better than someone, it is good for you to insult the person because the person talked to you, because the person spoke to you. It is good to say, they feed people. They feed people. What is there to feed someone? That's the first thing I want to ask people. What is there to feed someone? If God has blessed you and you have excess, it is only right that you feed people. But it is wrong for you to talk about it. If you feel like, oh, because of you, these people are getting, do you think that a person that is watching you and that person is not seeing what is going on? Do you think the outside world, the people that are not in that drama, cannot see what is going on? But I noticed that a lot of these are our Nigeria content creators, these YouTubers that are with certain numbers of subscribers. Immediately you mention their name, them and their followers, and when you watch them, you will notice that most of them and their followers, the fans and fans of them, they think alike. They have the same mentality. I'm just here to point out that people should stop. If you think that it is an insult that you're telling someone that they feed you, no, it makes you that is saying it sounds silly. And a lot of Nigerian YouTubers do that. Editorial did it, her family members did it, Sandra, all of them, and their fans, all of them. If they don't talk about me, they no go chop. If they don't talk about me, they no go chop. Waiting you they chop. Waiting you they chop. What is that thing when you put gold in the plate and then you eat it? Nobody say my buy you they eat now they eat. I mean, fried rice and chicken you they eat now they no feet. And even if you feel say you they eat fried rice and chicken, somebody they eat ever. At the same time, you have energy to carry out your daily chores. Person will eat ever also get energy to carry out the person's daily chores. What is the big deal? Don't always feel like because you're here, you feel like, oh, every other person is down here and you're going to look down on people. It is not right. It is not right. Exactly. Gore said pride. That is just what it is. And also, if you are talking about for people that talked about content, I feel like you should stick to the content that you're talking about. Like if you see something and you want to discuss it and stick to it. Pick out the points that you need to pick out and stick to it. Don't go out of point. Don't make it too personal. Point out what you want to point out. Say what you want to say the way you want to say it, and leave it at that. Really, there's just so much to talk about that if I even continue, we will not even finish today. Sandra went up to the level that she was even saying things that she shouldn't say, all in the name of trying to prove a point. That's why I say sometimes you need to know certain type of things. And Sandra threatening to also arrest people, but at the same time, you're also putting yourself in a place where the lawyers that would be defending you also find it difficult in court because there's going to be evidences against you also because you overspoke. Sarah started that video talking about how she understood that she did one thing. According to her, she said only one thing she saw that was wrong in that video was the fact that her little one was in the room, and that's the only thing that she knows that she did wrong, but everything else is okay. I just feel like well, she should have just said that and left it at that. That okay, I accept that this part, leaving the child in the room when this prank was going yada yada yada, was not okay. Leave it at that. But dragging it from there to where Sandra drug this whole thing to was just too much. And the whole thing now escalated to a very messy and silly fight. Like it reminded me of like primary school where people fight and then they go wait for you outside the gate, like after the school is over, and then they wait on the road with one hand on the waist, with the other leg placed a little bit further than one of your leg, and they will not be shaking themselves like this. Chaka, 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 chaka. A lot of people are they do this one for YouTube. Oh. I'm telling you, it's reminding me of primary school where people used to fight that nonsense fight. Do you understand? And that's what grown-up people are doing now on YouTube, where you have this cat and mouse game going on and the whole messy stuff. And I'm like, all of these things are not even necessary. All of these things are not necessary. Say, and she continue now. She should get in trouble. I just hope that everybody learn how to handle situation in a different way. The way you're handling something 5, 10 years ago should not be the same way you're handling this. The older you get, the wiser you're getting, the more experience you're getting. So when you see people of certain age behave like children, you start asking yourself then what should we be expecting from children if adults are the ones behaving this way? We should know better when we're trying to present. I gave an example of the dyna, where in no way, shape, or form should dyna have mentioned Zimbabwe as an example. In no way or shape or form that Lily Pope should have said what she said in that her video. I don't want to repeat here because she's not on the thumbnail. We're not discussing her today. In no way or shape or form should Sandra have explained that it was okay for her husband to give her that toza because he married her with his money. What are you saying? If some other person is trying to get out of this whole thing, they will now refer to Sandra's video where Sandra said she received bosa from her husband and it was okay because he married her with his hard-earned money. They marry you, then buy you. Even if they buy you, does that give the person the right to treat you as if you're less of a human? It is never okay. No argument, no disagreement should get to the level where you have to physically land the hot slap on somebody's face, where you start seeing red, this thing, lines on the person's face. Today is hand slap. Tomorrow now something goes up or head, person fall down, no stand up again. It don't be, it don't cast. Now from play that they get players. So don't play down on stuffs like that, because there are people going through situations like that and they're feeling like, oh, how do I get myself out of this hot mess? And you will not come and portray it as if it's just okay because he married you with his hard-earned money. So then what? What are you teaching the children that you're raising? You have sons. So in other words, when they grow up, they get married too. When their wife open mouth, taza. I saw my stepdaddy, they give my mama toza toza when we they grow up. So of course, it's okay. Your sons will not go and slap their wife toza. The wife will fall down, hit head for table, neck break. Meme, you don't go jail for life. How would you now feel when you go to jail to visit that child and that child will look you to the face and say, I learned this from you, mom or dad? Because you people said it was okay. You people did it, so we believed it was okay. And you also opened your mouth on a video that millions of people would watch. Your kids will grow up and see, confirming that it was okay. Not be your husband slap you. If your husband please slap you, then it means anybody for road slap you too now. I be the man where they for road they go slap you. He may not get money to marry somebody. Make anybody see you carry slap, dash you now. Since now suffer, they sweet you. And now, chorus is from play with they get players. It's as simple as that. It starts with a simple push to shove to toza, and the next one is pishing for your head. Rest. It is what it is. So there's no reason for Sandra to play down on that whole stuff and still beating her chest like, oh yes, madam, there's no oh yes in this situation. It's just not right. Even if you feel it's okay, do it in the privacy of your home. And I wouldn't even say do it in the privacy of your home because you have children. If you know this is what you like, then don't have kids. Don't have anybody. Don't have help. Don't have just the two of you. Lock yourself inside and be acting out. But you have children that are going to grow up tomorrow, and they're going to be, if they were females, they're going to be somebody's wife. If they are males, they're going to be somebody's husband tomorrow. And what you do in your home today, they might not say a word to you, but they are learning. The first role model that people have is actually, that children have, is actually their parents. Sometimes people's role model changes when they start growing up and understanding more, and they see that their parents are really not it. That's when they can now change and say, well, there are certain things my mom or my dad is doing and I wouldn't want to do that. And that's when they will now start, to slow down on seeing their parents or that particular parent as a role model, because there's just so many bad behavior that they've now gotten to know that this is not right, that parent is displaying. But the first person or first people that kids role model are their parents. Hence, we have to present ourselves in the way that in the future, we're not going to regret that, oh my goodness, this thing I was doing that I thought my kid or my kids weren't seeing, they were learning. So it is not okay. It is not. I think I've already said so much. It is an hour now. And I just hope that this hot mess goes away, because there's just so much ignorance floating around all this type of things. And I hope that people will do better when they want to put contents like this out. They should do better and think deeper when you're any type of content, even if it's not a reaction, it's not you responding or fighting with someone, you're just putting your normal video, your normal niche, your whatever. Think through what is coming out of your mouth. Sometimes people are teaching, they are teaching the wrong thing, in the name of, oh, we're trying to teach this person this thing, but the things you're saying are not really what it's supposed to be. Think through what you're saying. If you have to write a script, read through that thing first before you sit down, press on your camera, and then you start filming. Because sometimes all these videos, you put them out there, you're going to now regret it, want to delete it, want to take it down. But some fast people have already saved the video or cut out the parts that they want to cut out and save. Before you know, 20 years from now, you're trying to do something serious, they will just bring that same content and post it in your face. And to you, it will be a shock, because you might have deleted that thing 15 years ago, or even 20 years ago, because maybe immediately after you posted the video, you regretted posting the video and you took it down. But fast people, they saved it, and it might come back and bite you in the ass later. In the case of Sandra now, God forbid something will happen now in the future, and you want to point out, oh, he's treating me bad, he's maltreating me, he's doing this, he's doing that. I want to go this, I want to go that. They're going to bring this your video and present it and show where you said it was okay because he married you with his hard-earned money. And what will you now say? That you were trying to pepper people that were upsetting you. Hence, you said something like that. So let's think through what we're doing before we do that. That being said, that will bring me to the end. If there's anything else and we have the time to discuss, we will keep discussing. Like I said, every video, every content I see, I try to look at it from so many angles before I sit down to actually film a video or I come into a live stream. If it's something that we can actually learn from, we can correct some mistakes, we can point out some stuff. You don't need to take corrections, but we're just going to put it out there because maybe you might not take correction, but as someone that saw that your content that might think that everything you did is okay, but someone else pointing out certain things you did that are not okay, the other person might be able to learn from it and say, okay, I was thinking this was okay, but this person actually opened my mind to look at this thing from other angles also, and now I know better. Or if I'm in such situation, I would do better, and that's going to make me happy to see our people presenting themselves the way they are supposed to. You're not going to call yourself bourgeois. You're not going to call yourself person with too much. You know who I be. You know who I be. You know who I be. And for money, we just there for bank. The day you go further and die, you know, go with that one. Certain things the way people will talk about you, they'll say this person impacts your life. It is more than any amount of money that you can give to someone. And if you feel like you're better than someone, there is no need looking down on that person or persons. There's no need, like anyone at all. Like seriously, don't do it. Don't do it. You got money, you're wealthy, you're connected, you are whatever you are, it is for you. It is not for anybody. Even if somebody sees you out and they laugh at you like, oh, this was the clothes we're wearing. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go and say, do you know who I am? Do you know how much is in my bank account? I can lock you up and throw away the key. I can damn sue you. You don't know me because I'm connected. I have this, I have that. It's not necessary. Who you are, what you have, whatever, let it be for you. Sometimes some people get to know who you are by someone else talking about you. You're like, whoa, I met that person. I didn't even know. You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell. The person just was normal, acted normal, was like every other person there. We didn't know that person was so big up there. We didn't know that person was so connected. We didn't know that person was so rich. At the end of the day, you will want to pray to God tomorrow or even that same night. After you don't film that type of video, cause people out, you won't go pray. When you already see yourself as best way better pass another person. Is that what the Bible advised that you should do as a child of God? A lot of times people will say, which they do them from village. Which no, they do you from village. Which not do you nothing. Leave which for where which they. Now your heart. It comes from the inside. You cannot be feeling some type of way. You hear people say, why do people associate with this type of people? This is when they go church, this one's the way they do this one, this one. Who made thee a judge? Let's just all try our best to do better. Let's try our best to think through the content we're putting out there. I know that prank videos are bringing a whole lot of money. So a whole lot of people will do prank videos. I know that reaction videos are bringing a lot of money also. People will do a lot of these things. In fact, a lot of silliness sells on social media. When you're silly, then you behave like Obu. When you behave like Mumu. nasty behaviors. That's what social media pushes. It sells. But just because things like that sells doesn't mean that you really also have to go into that. Just try to garnish and package your thing and present it in a better way. It might take longer time. It might take longer time for sure. Because you would start something with maybe some set of persons that you know that, oh, I think I started my business right about the same time with A, B, C, D. But because there's a whole silliness going on, you will see that those ones are going. But try to build your brand. Because if you don't pass you, but the day you go hit jackpot, you go shock everybody. But it might take a long time and you will need a lot of patience and you will need to just trust God. But build your brand. It will pay off someday. So the whole stupidity being displayed on social media by our people should stop. It's not necessary. It should stop. That being said, we've been talking for an hour, and that's it. That's for that, guys. So thank you so very much for joining us today on Entertainment Daily, and I am your host, Octavia Cora. And if you are joining us for the first time, you are welcome. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so very much, Gorex Corner. All right, gotta go, right? Thank you so much. Thank you, Gorex Corner says thank you. I appreciate. God bless you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. I'm super grateful. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Oyoyo's World. Thank you. I know you're at work. You still came in here, gave your contribution. Also, thank you so very much, ma'am. Thank you. God bless you. I'm super grateful. All my silent watchers, I saw you guys coming in and out because I saw my numbers going up and down. I say thank you so very much if you've been here before, even if you just breezed in to see my face and breeze out. I say God bless you all in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you so very much. God bless you. May your going out and coming in be blessed. May everything you lay your hands to do prosper. Those secret prayers you have in your closet between you and your maker, I pray that your heavenly Father grants them at the right time. And if you've been praying and you feel like it is not happening yet, don't worry. Your timing and his timing is not the same. When the time is right, he is going to make sure that every single thing you need is going to come to pass. God bless you all. Thank you so very much for joining me today. See you all on the next one when we will have something to discuss, when we have a topic to analyze, or else see you on the next video that we will be posting. But if we have a topic that we feel like it's going to take a long time and we need to just use it as a learning and a teaching process of a conversation, then we're going to be here doing a live stream. If not, we're going to have a video on the channel. Thank you so very much for joining me, and I will leave you guys now. Remain blessed, stay blessed, have a blessed week. Happy Valentine's Day. Today is 14th of February, right? People, they celebrate Valentine even escaped my mind. So I didn't even say it in the beginning. Happy Valentine's Day. See ya all, and bye. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone, and thank you so very much. Ooh, I'm out. God bless you all.